The Beyblade X crossover project has a lot of potential. If you didn't know, Takara Tomy is going to be remaking Beyblades from previous generations to celebrate the anniversary of Beyblade, or rather the road to the anniversary. We already know the first one. They're going to be remaking Dronzer Spiral, and that releases July 15th with all the other Beyblade X releases. But past that, we don't really know what beys are going to be coming and when they're releasing. So in this video, I want to show you 4 beys I would like to see return in this crossover project. Before we start, hit that like button. We're going to try and hit 1,000 likes. Hit subscribe to join the Nook Nation for the best Beyblade X content whenever I get them. I also highly recommend you guys check out Mall of Toys if you're interested in picking up any of the Beyblade X releases, including beys from this crossover project, like Dronzer Spiral and whatever comes next. But go and check them out and use code ilinnuc to get 5% off of your first purchase. But let's talk about these beys. Let's talk about the crossover project. For a little bit of context, this project is not just for Plastic Gen or MFB, it's for everything. In their project teaser, they showcase that every generation is possible for a remake, including Burst, which ended not that long ago. The only thing that really matters is how popular the bey was and how much it sold. So after Dronzer Spiral, let's look at some beys that I want to see come back. I do want to thank Izu on my Discord for creating the concepts for all these beys I'm going to show you. And the first bey is going to be Dragoon GT. This is probably my favorite release from the entire Plastic generation. We never saw a Burst remake for this Beyblade. I think they stopped at the V2 releases, so we were almost there. And it's kind of a long shot. The bey is definitely kind of big, kind of bulky. I don't know how they could do it in this X system. There's also the fact that it uses an engine gear with kind of like a winder. They don't have to do that. I mean, for Dronzer Spiral, they're not doing that spiral mode change. And really, that'd be okay. I'd be okay with a rubber flat bit. And now let's move on to the Metal Fight generation, starting with Storm Pegasus. I think this bey makes a lot of sense. It was the first Pegasus used by Jinka in the anime. Such a popular design. There's so many people out there that have this bey as their favorite of all time, and that just makes a lot of sense. We've also had this bey remade already for Beyblade Burst, and I think a Metal Fight to Beyblade X remake just makes a lot more sense because the bey is already metal. And just like Dragoon GT, the bit for this bey kind of has to be a rubber flat, but it could be the same rubber flat they used for Dragoon, so they can kind of use the same parts. For the next Beyblade, I think this is an obvious one with Medio El Drago. We've already seen a Beyblade Burst remake of this, and it's probably one of, if not the most influential Beyblades from Metal Fight. Medio El Drago was the original Spin Steel King. It just makes a ton of sense, and if they want to bring back like really popular Beyblades, I can't really think of a better option than Medio El Drago. There are a few challenges with this Beyblade, just like with the other releases, the biggest one being the rubber. One of the reasons why Medio El Drago was so influential was because it had so much rubber on the Beyblade, allowing it to steel spin. That's where we kind of saw the hand launching trend start for the first time, like 10 years ago. So in order to do this Beyblade well and not have a lot of backlash from the community, I do think they have to have rubber on the blade in some way. It doesn't have to be a ton, it could just be little strips, but it does need to be there. There's also the performance tip, which was left flat, and it was like this star-shaped left spinning tip. It would be pretty cool if they made like a Medio El Drago specific bit, but I don't really see them doing that. I don't think we'd see that shape. I'd assume we're just gonna get flat from Dran Sword. Burst is definitely going to be kind of interesting. This is the most recent generation. There's a lot of people that have these original beys just in their collections. So let's look at a bey that I think makes a lot of sense for them to remake, and that is Victory Valkyrie. Kind of the same idea as Storm Pegasus in that it's the first bey that was used by the main character in the anime, so it just kind of makes sense. There are some difficulties here. They would have to add on metal to this 3-wing design. It's also a very similar shape to Dran Sword, so they'd be kind of the same thing. They could definitely do Storm Spriggan or Spriggan Requiem instead, but I think Victory Valkyrie just makes a lot of sense. And the driver for Victory Valkyrie was variable, and it had these spikes that would eventually wear down over time to give you like a giga rubber flat. And once again, if they really wanted to recycle, they could use that same rubber tip from Storm Pegasus and from Dragoon GT. For Burst remakes, I really have no idea. I mean, these beys were like fully plastic with a little bit of metal on top, So having to translate those to the X system would be kind of tough because you'd have to add on metal to these pretty crazy designs. Could you imagine a Lost Longinus with metal contact points? That'd be kind of crazy. And for the final bay, it's not a Takara Tomy release, so it can't be a remake. It's Nitro. If you don't remember or you weren't there for it, I have a 3D printed series of Beyblades called Nitro, and this is something I definitely want to bring back for Beyblade X, and Izu made a concept of what this Nitro could look like. And it's definitely pretty cool. I don't know when we're going to be able to 3D print Beyblade X bays or when we're going to have a good template for it, but as soon as we do, I want to make one. But I'm interested to see what you guys think in the comments down below. Is there a certain bay that you want Takara Tomy to remake? Is there a bay that you do not want them to remake? And also, what do you think about Nitro? Do you like this design? But that's gonna wrap up this video. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, go and check out Mall of Toys, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next one. Have fun, and bay away.